Hello, good afternoon, targeted individual. My name is Grace Udoh-Williams. I'm a targeted individual living here in London. I'm a recipient of a direct energy weapon, voice to skull, neuromonitoring, and gang stalking. I hope you're keeping well. A very happy new year to you. I don't think I've posted any direct video this year. So very happy new year to you. And thank God we've sailed through 2020. It was a horrible year for everybody. And for people that have passed on, I ask the Lord to grant their soul peace and their family, comfort them. And for us target individuals still going through this horrible program, I wish God to give us the strength and bring this program to a halt in the name of Jesus Christ. Today I'm gonna just try to update you on what has been going on in my life. Things haven't changed. I don't think things have changed for anybody. I'm still being in the highest category of gang stalking and direct energy weapon from British intelligence services and their black ops operatives. So I'm still having 24/7 direct energy weapon. I'm still being targeted by, well, I've not physically seen the drone, but I know they're there, and also being targeted. I mean, in recent weeks, it's been lots of helicopter up and down, and once they come, I also feel their presence. But again, thank God, I am still here, and the Bible says in every situation we have to give thanks to God. So I'm still grateful to God for making me and my family see this new year, and we're still alive and we're still kicking, and I hope you're all well. Now, the first thing I want to bring to your notice is that there's been a lot going on. I've posted a few evidence of projectile direct energy weapon being projected into my home. Firstly, I live in Greenwich. I will not say this precise street, but the landscape there is a fire station. And within that, we have blocks of flats. If you come into the street, straight away, the block of flats, there's one called Jarvis Court, there's one called Woodville Court, and they're all in the street. The one called Woodville Court is where I believe the epicenter is, because I've seen that's where lots of cars will stop. That's where people will leave to go into that block of flats. And that flat, so Infraguard, I think I've seen that van once there, packed up, a white van with Infraguard written on it. But then at the instant, I didn't know how connected they were to the gang stalking. But now I've seen on internet that they say they are connected. So I have seen it once. I haven't taken the evidence, but I've surely seen it once. What I'm trying to bring notice more especially is the block of flat called Jarvis Flat. Now, around 2019, I became aware that there was a particular security company that's also a communication company was following me up and down. And I've had security companies following me before. I've had experience about at least 2 previous ones. And when I used to work, I'm a qualified nurse. When I used to work in central London, I would see a black van every day will park at my workplace, and I think that was when they were taking my biometrics and probably taking my EEG to feed into their computer to start the physical touching. The first was like a covert action, now it's overt action, so this all can be seen. So this particular one, I noticed that since then they have taken a resident. So if I go at the bus stop, Ashbourne Grove, just on the high street, to take bus, I started seeing this car parked in front of the bus stop. And I knew then that, it's just like what was happening before, where they would come and park at my workplace in the garage there, and then follow me up and down, taking my van, gang stalking me there at work. So I did notice that it's when I knew that the man that was on that top floor is also maybe the security man that has been put here to guard me. The reason is that in the evening, when the lights are on, this flat has got no screening. There's nothing, it's just like somebody no curtains, no window blind. The light will be on. The man will sit at a particular place. This man is a middle-aged man, probably in his late 60s or early 70s. He might be younger, but to me, that's what he looks like, a bald patch man. You know, slight to medium built. You know, sometimes he will come up there and stand in the balcony. The balcony is actually facing, back balcony is facing the road. My back balcony is facing the road. The front of the house is facing a courtyard. It's in a courtyard. You have to take a stairs via the road into the courtyard. So his light will be on. Sometimes he has no shirt on. You will sit down there. So if you go into your bedroom, if you open the blind, there he is. You always see him sitting in one position. Sometimes he's doing something like this. I don't know what it is. That's if the day it turns, the light is on, maybe at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock. By 10 o'clock, you still go there. He's there, sitting in one position. By 1 o'clock, you go there. If you stay, he's still sitting. By 3 o'clock, he's still sitting there. The light is on. There's no blind to blind it. There's nothing to, kind of give him privacy. He's in his own home, I'm not saying, but when you open your own, you could see him straight into the house, and he's sitting in a particular position throughout. So I believe, in my mind, I believe this is the security man that has been placed in there to guide me. And also, when I come into the courtyard in front of where I live, there's also a house. The backyard is also lit with Christmas lights since 2018, or latest 2019, and that light is being on every evening, most evenings. Some evening maybe it's not there, most evening the light will be on. And also I notice when I come into the house, on my left hand side, there is a man. I'll come back to him. He has two bulbs in it at the back garden where the balcony is facing the road. So the lights will be on, two bulbs there, the lights will be on. Then I start noticing that then the house on the right, when you're coming through the courtyard into the right, then again his has got rows of lights. So the light will be on the left, right will be on the right will be on the front, and right. So it seems that this light is where they signpost the helicopter that is coming, because it's a row of terrace house, helicopter that is coming, or the drone that is coming, my specific position, so that they will use it to target me. And that is what I think is happening here. So so we know that there is security now positioned for me. Now the other aspect is that like I said, the lamp in front of my house seems to be pulsating, seems to be directing energy into my home. At some point, the front yard, if you see on my CCC, there will be kind of a cloud descended, very cloudy. You can actually see some of the cloud in the house. If you sit here, it looks very foggy, even when it's sunny. Then if you look at the rear part of the house, then you see that it's clear. So there is a contrast, and the condensation or the fogginess, we're not just talking something, it would descend. And also there's also the targeting, the direct energy weapon, so it can be seen on the CCTV, which at some point I will post. But again, having said that, my CCTV seems to be hacked, because some of the evidence that I saw a few days ago, when I go in there, I can't find them anymore. So they realize that I've been posting it, but I will have to talk to the company, because there's no point them giving me the CCTV that can be easily hacked by the I know they can hack anything, because we are talking about intelligence services, so I know they can hack anything. And that is being said, then the gang stalking in terms of being followed is still ongoing. Anywhere I go, before I get there are people standing waiting for me, and some are just standing just to confirm that I'm there. Some are actually using a direct energy weapon. I've known around Christmas or just after Christmas, I went shopping. I actually seen the man at Lewisham, and I was standing there waiting for the taxi, and the taxi took ages to come. All I could feel was somebody projecting directed energy weapon into my bag, projecting. You could see until I noticed when I turned out, he had the audacity, this man. And when you look at him, he does not, I don't know how to put it. I don't want to put name to it. I'm not very good at calling people name. I'm sorry, I'm doing this video in my kitchen, so you could see the background is in my kitchen. So I'm not very good at calling people's name. I don't want to call people's name, but again, you will see that these people that they've employed to target other people are not clean people themselves, are not people that should be engaging in this, because they don't look clean themselves. They don't look like people I don't know, that should claim that they're right to start punishing other people. But again, I know they have told them lies and they are earning money. And some of them is the only way working this type of thing is for them to redeem themselves from whatever thing they were engaging in. So they think by targeting other people, they're working for the government, they're now clean. And it's another story. I leave them because I can't tell people how to live their life, but I won't live my life that way. Now, the other thing that I want to bring to your notice is my next door neighbor. If you come into the courtyard, my next door neighbor on the left, right hand side, they seem to have moved. The immediate one have moved. The one after that also have moved. The one after the one next to me, a couple. The one after that is an older person that I noticed from the when I started being targeted that she was part of it. But again, I forgive this old lady because she's old, and I feel she was being I'm sure she thought she was, helping to, because I mean, that's what they will say to them, that you're helping to fight crime and lying to these people. And obviously, if you're not aware of this program, you think you're helping the government, community spirit, fighting crime. They don't know that they're actually participating in mass murdering other people, in torturing people. They don't know. So she was one of those early ones that I noted. And they made it up to the extent that the woman herself started living in fear. So living in fear of her own tail, because God forbid, I will never assault anybody. I've never assaulted anybody, let alone go and pick up on an old lady. And at the end, beginning of, was it last year, I did actually saw her one day, coming back from shopping, and I did call her. I said, look, because she started having chaperone, then they give her like alarm bell to press if somebody comes. So I don't know who they thought I would go and harass the woman. God forbid. I was brought up well. Where I come from, you respect the older person, because where I come from, the older person, they've gone through a lot. They're a source of wisdom. So when they talk from experience. They will advise you for you to listen to advice. But where I come from, we don't go hitting older people. It's only that I've seen in this country where people go harassing older people or raping them or stealing from them. Where I come from, where we're brought, we respect older people. And I said to her, forgiving her, that she shouldn't be afraid, because I noticed that she was having like she will have a chaperone. The woman that was, when I first came in here, that was all and about going about her business, suddenly was in fear of her life, was in fear of, when I first tried to report this case, I went to Lewisham police station. By the time I got there, the police officer or detective have dragged this woman into the police station to go and make a report. I don't know what report she went to make, but I've never approached her in my life to say anything horrible to her to say, because I just thought, when I started reading about it, the way the program works, I just thought, oh, poor woman, they've come, and I actually seen official come out of that door. So they've come to brainwash the woman to say, but then make her live in fear, instead of the one that was, very, attractive woman with, she color her hair red, put red lipstick, put a rouge and go. And I thought, I did admire her from, from then. I used to say, when I see her, I say, hello, good afternoon, ma, good morning, ma, or whatever. And she'll answer, go about business. Suddenly, this is a woman that can't go out living in fear. So I think she's been moved. So I saw a council cleaning up the place. Then the one next to me is the couple. Those couple, I'm not gonna say anything about them, but I'll leave them to the hands of God. They have earned a living through torturing. They are involved in it. They have people doing shift in their home. They had a lot of drilling 2018, 2019, 2020. Now and again, I will hear drilling on the wall to use to target me. Got a specialist to come and see. They actually pick up some frequency from that part of the house coming into my home. I've also picked up frequency with my EMF meter that is coming to my home through the wall. So suddenly they are also moving from nowhere. So maybe they've earned enough to buy their own place from the targeting or maybe they've moved them, because on the 5th, the woman told me, now and again, if I see her, if she talk to me, I talk to her. Sometimes I don't feel like saying anything. I'll just go about my business. She said to me they were coming to do electricity inspection and whatever. And they've written me a letter that they want to come and do it. I've not replied it yet. When I'm ready, I'll reply and give them time to come and do it. But at the moment, I'm not doing it. I'll do it as soon as I can. Then she said to me they were coming to do it on the 5th. Then after the 5th, suddenly she's just moved. I know they kind of gave her a new floor. Suddenly she's moved. So I don't know if whatever they put in there, the inspection, whatever they installed there, the device, maybe it's affecting her and they had to move them. I don't know. Or maybe they have enough money from the targeting and the torture that they bought their own place and move. I don't know. Or maybe still they've moved them because they want to move the army people in, you know, to have a clear view of where I'm living, to find the way of torturing me. And the one they are doing is not enough for them. So again, if you do your own research, I understand they do bet, millionaires will bet and give a time and give a date where you're going to be killed, you know, where you're going to die. You know, at the end of it, I mean, when they started, they gave me 2 to 3 days. You know, after that, they said death. You know, it was 2 to 3 days after that death. And I thank God against all odds, against what they have thrown at me. I give thanks to God, because it's not by me, it's by the power of God and the mercy of God that I'm still here and my family. So that is what we are. So I'm thinking they've moved them on the 2 houses, they've moved them on to moving the military people. So the closer, the better. So we see how that works out. But at the end of the day, I know they're human beings. They are not God. They have a breathing. They are breathing just like me. So we see how God will handle that issue. On my left hand side, I know this man, I won't call him a gentleman, he tried to be, but he's a man that also there was a lot of drilling 2018, a lot of drilling that even caused a problem. The drilling, I started hearing from him before I heard from the right hand side. It was coming from the left hand side, and I didn't know apparently, and that caused a lot of problems with his neighbor on the other side of him, that the drilling was so that was drilling, they were drilling. And I also know that this particular man, he's not British, he has actually come from abroad. I'll call him, let's call him Mr. Italy. So he's a man probably in his late 30s or early 40s, I don't know, but he's looking that age group. And it's later, he told me that he was a house husband, but it's later I found out from other people that he's actually boasting to them that he's the army personnel. So I'm thinking once these 2 people are moved out, they're going to bring in the army personnel. Mind you, this next house close to me on the right-hand side, they had people doing the shift. There were these people that they were gardeners or people cleaning the street that they've employed. There used to be a younger guy that used to come in with Santander bicycle. Then the last time I saw him, he's got a car. So the targeting is working for them. You know, the money they're paying them is really working for them to move from one status to the other. So at least somebody's earning a living through my suffering, which is for me, praise be the Lord. I'm not the one targeting, they're targeting me. I thank God for that. So that is what is been happening now. So the 2 perpetrators, the older one and the couples there, they've been moved out. The one next to me, 2 couples came suddenly because they've just had the electricity inspection. So I'm thinking, has it got anything to do with the electricity? Is there something that they put there? And I understand there's a sort of electricity device that can make you be viewed, that can open the view, that they can see you in person where you are. So it gives a precise point of being targeted, you know. So I don't know, I'm not going to speculate, I don't know, but I'm just putting it out there. Is that what they want to do? I don't know. So until when they do, then we see what the effect is. And also maybe they are trying to bring in the military people because they have already got one on the left side. So maybe they're going to bring one on the left, on the right side. And at the back garden, at the back in front of, at the back of the house, I've got security people based there. So at the front, I don't know who lives at the front there, but there's always light. So we wait and see. As God give me breath, I will give you updated and posted. So at the moment, that's where we are. And like I said, the lamp in front of my house seems to be pulsating energy into the house. And recently, there's been a lot of, not drone, maybe there's drone. I know drone do project energy into my home. but a lot of helicopter, and it's going on. It started before, it stopped for a while, but there's been a lot up and down, and they also come with the symptoms of being targeted. Now, for all I know, I'm gonna speak directly to the perpetrator. If you're one of the perpetrators, you know, you are committing sin, you're committing crime. No matter what they tell you, you have the choice not to get involved. And if you think you're not doing much, or you're just pressing that, or you're just following, every little adds to the bigger picture. At the end of it, is somebody there at the end of it, what you guys are doing. So everybody doing their own adds to it. And if this person from your action died, no matter how small it is, you're partly, you've got blood in your hand, because you have contributed, no matter how small it is, to that person, you know, life being taken. So whatever you do, perpetrator, you're part of it. You're part of the bigger picture. You're part of killing another human being for your own gain. And then that will lead us to, let's say, I will first read. I'm not imposing the Bible on you, but I feel I have to say this. If we go into Jeremiah chapter 21, verse 14, he said, but God, I will punish you, that said the Lord. I will punish you according to the fruit of your doing, said the Lord. And I will kindle a fire in the forest thereof, and it shall devour all things round about it. So whatever you're doing, if you think God is not seeing you, like all the perpetrators, all the handlers, a lot of them are worshiping satanic worshiper. A lot of them are worshiping the fallen one. They think they've got power, and they're getting, again, there is notion, I don't know if the MPs have passed it, not to criminalize informants, not to criminalize if they come here and put things in your house and try to frame you, not to criminalize them. But one thing you should be thinking is looking at the bigger picture. It's man that you're afraid of. You shouldn't be afraid of man. It's God that you should be afraid of, because with God, what law are you going to use to protect yourself? He can see you under the sun. He can see you in the water. He can see you in the mountain. He can see you in the valley. He can see you in the gift. There is no hiding from God. He sees, and he said, I will punish you according to the fruit of your doing. So you're hiding behind the law, to promote the law, to cover yourself for what you're doing, you know, justify yourself. Say, I will punish you according to the fruit of your doing, said the Lord. And I will kindle a fire in the forest thereof, and it shall devour all things round about it. So no matter where you go, if you're participating in torture, if you're participating in the blood of the innocent, it will catch up with you eventually. You might think, oh, you have all this power, you're Satanist, you don't believe in God. The Bible says, only a fool says in his heart there's no God. If you can see the way the world is made, it's perfect. It did not come by chance. It's perfect. Everything we need is here. It's balance, is perfect. Any imbalance will cause problems. So you could, if I was you, you think about it. It's not by chance. All these scientists are trying to crack their head and trying to think, you know, oh, this must be what is happening. You are taking the element of God. Without God, this world is not perfect. This world is perfect because he made it perfect. It took him time. It took him, you know, whatever resources he had to make it perfect for us. And that's why we're here. We're here to enjoy and thank God and marvel at his work. The technology that you're using on people could be a force for change, could be a force for good, could help a lot of people that are sick, could help the human race. But you are instead use it to torture, to punish, to control, and use it to earn a financial living, you know, at the mercy, pitting people at the mercy or your mercy. And even when they're saying stop, you're not stopping, you're enjoying the torture, and you think God is not seeing, he will reward you according to the work of your hand. That's what the Lord, because my Bible said to me that God hates sin. And again, we will go through, let's read again. This is Revelation chapter 22, verse 12. It says, behold, I am coming quickly, and my reward is with me, to give every man according to his work. And he said, I am the Alpha, the Omega, the beginning and the end, the first and the last. And so if you're doing it, you think that, you know, you're doing it because you've got this power, you've got this control, you're just doing it, you're deluded, you're just having it for a short time. And you need to remember that if you're that powerful, you won't die. You can change things and live forevermore. It's only God that can live. Everything perishes. So it's only God. So that means you haven't got power. If you think you have got power, you're just deluded. You might go out of body, do all these fancy things that don't get you anywhere. It will get it absolutely. When God's time comes, you will expire just like anybody else. And that power just shows you haven't got power. So for those ones that are tortured for targeted individual, this is my message to you. I've read on YouTube, or not YouTube, Facebook, where somebody said they don't believe there is God. My Bible says to me, it's only a fool that says in his heart there is no God. And the Bible says the fear of God is the beginning of wisdom. I'm not here to start preaching to you, but what I'm trying to encourage you, if you're a targeted person, yes, it is painful. Yes, it is painful. You don't want it. It's not what we want. There is no justification for these human rights abuses. We are living in a 21st century that people have no better. I mean, in the 16th century, people used to be burned on stake, because they're being called witches. We've moved beyond that. We're educated, we have understanding, but people still wants to go primitive. And I believe it's because of money and control. The biotech are involved, the data collection to see how people torture, how it will take one person from being tortured from this stage to that stage until they die. And they seem to enjoy it, and they seem to bet to see if you do this, how long will this take person? Another man's suffering is their goal. But God says he will come. Behold, I am coming quick, and I'll reward with my reward, and I'll give every man according to the work of his hands. So everybody, no matter who you are under this God's son, we will all have a justice. So for those people that are suffering now, like me, have faith, because with faith you can move mountain. That's what the Bible says. Say God is faithful. God does not, he created heaven and earth and gave us free. He does not force anybody to worship him. He does not force anybody to serve him. He gives us free. He gives you go, enjoy. But then when he gave commandment, what we shouldn't do. So when you're not abiding within the commandments, which is the first commandment, love thy God, thy Lord with thy heart, with thy soul, and love that. Those are the most important. If you love God, then you keep his commandment. If you love your neighbor, then you will not do anything. Your neighbor doesn't necessarily mean somebody next to you. It could anybody. It means you will not harm that person. You will not do any bad thing to that person. Those are the important law. And if you see in the world, all the laws that people have imposed is based on this 10 commandments, no matter what religion it is. We say God is faithful. So to the targeted individual, this is my message to you. Say, I'm reading from Corinthians chapter 10, verses 13. I'll start. He said, God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above what you are able, but with the temptation always make a way to escape, that he may be able to bear it. So what God is telling us is, yes, there's temptation. It's not now. From time immemorial, there's been temptation. There's been murder. There's been killing. There's been wars and whatever. People have been persecuted for no reason. Even Jesus Christ himself was persecuted because he was the Son of God. People did not believe. They persecute him. They held it. He has not done anything wrong. The same thing is happening now. So there is no much changes. Even though we have developed, we understand, right from wrong, we're still going back to those days that these things were happening when people did not understand very much. He said, so, but my message to the targeted individual community is that God is faithful. He is not the one asking this to happen to you. It's man's free will. It's man that has made this. It's man that has reduced himself. When you're given a table to eat with kings and queens, they've reduced themselves to eat with the devil. The devil has been cast down. The devil has been, rejected from heaven. So they decided to eat their food with the devil. So God gives people choices. He does not force anybody to worship. And that's why there's so many religion. It does not force anybody. But he said, for those people that trust in him and believe in him, he said, suffer that God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above that he are able, but will with the temptation always make a way to escape, that he may be able to bear it. So he will open a way. If you come to him, if you hold on to his tip, if you ask God to help, if you ask God, open your heart, anything that is there, God hates sin, we know that. So if you have anything that is been on your way that has been an hindrance, that has been a block, you have to come to him in humility of spirit. Ask the Lord to forgive, ask the Lord to take over, ask the Lord to take in charge, and he will do it. No matter what you're going through, he will give you the strength. Then he will also open a way for you to escape. So the Lord will open a way, one way or the other, for us to bring this program down. He will open a way. He has done it before. He will do it again. He opened a way in the Red Sea at the last minute when people have lost hope, when people were, standing there telling Moses, we wish we didn't come out of the house of Egypt, that where they were being enslaved and tortured, that, oh, now you have brought us to be killed as one man. But when the hope was fading, God opened a way that they walked through the Red Sea, and their enemies that were pursuing them, even though they've suffered them, they pursuing them, perished in the Red Sea. So this is how God works. He is mighty. So hold on to God. Put the armor of God. Yes, it is painful. Yes, it is bad. It's not what we expect people to be doing. This technology can be used for good, but instead they're using it for torture, to kill. But the blood of the innocent, you cannot kill the innocent. The blood belongs to God, and it will bring judgment, because the Bible says it will. And you need to understand everything that is said in the Bible. Say the word, the earth and the heaven and earth will pass away, but his word will never pass away. So I believe in it. So this afternoon, take courage. I'm taking courage. I'm not sitting here. It's not glamorous to be hit with direct energy weapon 24/7. Then when you're going, you have people attacking you, attacking your back. I've had bruises. If you see, I don't know if you can see from here. If you see here, this is another sign of burning. See, if you see the dark sign, that's burning. And before, it used to be cuts, my legs would swell up. Then the one in the head, I have not lost hope, because again, having said that, there are people in this world that have been born suffering from the first day until the day, that they go back to God. So I'm so grateful that my life is not being, it's a suffering, but it's it's not being in a lot of, physical pain. There's been a lot of other things that's happened to me, but, that I cannot bear. So I ask God to give you strength, to give us strength. I ask him to shorten the time to come to our rescue. And this is the word I'm giving you this afternoon. So for me, I believe maybe there is a possibility of kidnapping, a possibility of being killed, a possibility of being framed, because they've tried to do all those things, not the kidnapping. But I'm thinking, if they move two people, what are they trying to do? You just think wide. So kidnapping, it's not unknown that the intelligent people have read it before when on the internet, where Dr. Catherine Horton spoke to one of the men that was just I don't know where he was traveling from the airport. He was just taken and then taken to an unknown destination with his eyes covered. So they do kidnap people. They do send their higher assassin to kill people. They also do frame people, so framing, they will come, put in something. A man was saying on the YouTube where they was doing some house renovation. Somebody came, he thought he was part of those people, went upstairs and put some bomb in there. Then a few days later came to say they were told that there's something suspect in the house, and then he said on YouTube that they went straight to where they kept whatever they kept, and he had to go into prison for 8 years. Then after 8 years, suddenly before 8 years, they just released him. So these are things that happen where people are being falsely framed. That is where they get their false evidence before they leave. They've already put false evidence on your note that this is what you've done when you haven't done it. So they create false evidence. They do misinformation, false information, galvanize people to stalk you based on lies, just because for your data to be sold to another company, data company. So they are basically the criminals earning a living from crime. And these are people that we're meant to look up to. So may the Lord help us. So there is the possibility of kidnapping, possibility of being killed. So if they move the army there, if the two houses are empty, it could be a possibility. I don't know if that's their planning. There could also be a possibility of being framing. There's one company has been try all its best to come inside the house. I don't know what it is, but trying to whatever. So we wait and see where that leads us. So again, I appeal to the UN. If you make a law, you should be bold enough to follow what you've made. You should have the tool and the willingness to follow when you make a rule. So your rule should only be applying to third world country. You should apply for first world country or distinction country. No matter what the company, if they are breaking the rules, they should be held accountable. So it's not only third world. If this was happening exclusively in third world country, believe me, the government of the third world country would have been in prison by now. So you need to wake up, UN. You know, if you make rules, then you need to stand by the rules and help people. A lot of people are suffering. A lot of people are being tortured with this program. This program could have been something of a man achievement to help another human being, but instead it's being used by the operative to kill, to maim, to silence, and to pretend it's not happening. A lot of people in government knows it's happening. Probably not everybody, but it's substantial, and they are not talking. So if you don't say anything, if you don't stop it, then you're also complacent. And it's just like people haven't learned a lesson from the Jewish people being tortured and sent, children and women being sent to their early death, where people pretend it's not happening. If you know and you're not saying something, yes, you are part of it. You're complacent, you're part of it. And the blood to you to flow into your hand, to flow because you did nothing. You're aware of it and you know. And I'm asking God to give you the spirit and to give the encouragement. Anybody that's got information about this program needs to get up, needs to say something, needs to contact, you know, I'm saying it in support of Mark Williams, that is also a targeted individual. Please say something, bring the evidence to UN, let them bring this program to a halt, because this is against humanity. You know, nobody has a right to dominate over another human being, especially that kind of quiet, you know, torturing that there's no hope, there's nowhere to go. If you tell somebody, I mean, I told where I was working, instead of them sorting out the security to make me safe, they asked me to see a psychiatrist, and the psychiatrist was telling me that I'm delusional. And it got to a point that they were actually, they invoke the mental health act, because I wrote, you know, to the Prime Minister begging them to intervene. I wasn't reading my letter, just begging them to intervene in what's happening. And they invoke, and the man had audacity to come into my home and try talking jargon. You know, thank God, you know, that is me. So now I think where they're gonna go, because they're following AI, is to probably trying to friend me, trying to get into my home to put device. I've never seen marijuana in my life. I've never seen drugs. I've heard about it. I've seen it on TV. I've never seen it physically. I've never seen a bomb physically in my life. I don't know how it is assembled. I don't know where. Even if I see it, I won't know what to do, because I'm just, my brain is not clued up into all this mechanism. I can read, I can do all those, you know, but in terms of mechanism, in terms of physical, that kind of engineering thing, my head is not clued to it. So what are they gonna do? Or put illegal substance here, or put bomb here to say I went and did bomb? To do what? You know, I cannot be worshiping God and worshiping Mammon. This is what my Bible said. He said, he cannot drink the cup of the Lord and the cup of the devil. He cannot be partakers of the Lord's table and of the devil. I am not a partaker. This is not me. I take communion in the church. I'm not holy, but I try to do what is right. I take communion in the church, and you have to have a relationship with God before you take communion. That's my understanding. Your hands cannot be dirty before you take communion. So I'm not going to dabble. I didn't do it when I was young, not now when I'm in my middle age. So whatever you're going to bring, the Lord will stop it in your own track, because I have not, my hands are clean. These are my hands. They are clean. They are not to hurt anybody. I'm a woman. I'm a mother. I'm a grandmother. I'm a carrier of life, not a destroyer of life. I'm a giver of life, not a destroyer of life. I have not come here to take anybody's life. I've come here because God wants me to hear, and those children is good. My fruit is to hopefully make me be a good mother, so that they're a good human being to another human being. So I'm sorry to rat about, keep going, but I thank you for listening to me. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord protect you. Put on the armor of God and stand in faithfulness and stand in prayers. I know people say we need to get solicitors. I've tried to get solicitors. I don't know where to get solicitors. No, nobody wants to take the case. The one woman that took the case, they started harassing her with a silent telephone call, and there were other issues, and she dropped it. So I don't know if anybody have an idea where we need to target an individual in London where we can get solicitors that is ready to take up this banner for us. Please let me know, and your comments are welcome. Thank you for listening to me. May the Lord bless you richly and protect us in Jesus' name. Amen.